What up, y'all? I want to tell y'all a story today, or at least um give y'all some insight on a particular auto shop that I believe you should avoid, and that I think put me in a very tough situation because I live in my car. But I'm gonna let y'all be the judge of that. What happened? Let me tell you this story. Okay, so I live in my car, but that's not the auto shop's business. You know what I'm saying? So I bought this car last year around August, something like that, with 70,000 miles on it, right? I bought it so I could live in it, go on a little peace journey or whatever. It's just me. So I sacrificed, a crib for a car, a nice car that I could live in. What happened, man? I had the internet turned on. Like, oh, that shit turned off. What happened? Okay, it's back on. Look, last year I took my car to an auto shop to get the right front axle replaced. I had bought it at 70,000 miles. Around 73,000 miles, the CV axle started going, which was good for me because it was under warranty. You know what I'm saying? So I hurry up, take it to the shop. The warranty company honored the warranty. The warranty company honored the shit, and I got to pay a deductible, right? So I took the car to this auto shop right here, right? H&M Auto, Bonnie Road, Virginia Beach, right? It's a 2015 S550 Benz. I took the jank in at 919 to get the CV axle fixed. The right passenger side CV axle. Okay, so they repaired it under warranty. There it is. There's the deductible that I paid, $100. Great. Here's the warranty terms. 36 months or 36,000 miles, whichever occurs unless specified otherwise. And as we see, nothing is specified otherwise. Okay. Fast forward. 1 year later. Put this black out. Show y'all another piece of paper real quick. Put these little cards up there. Okay. Fast forward 1 year later. Check this out, y'all. 9/09/25. Same CV axle fail, right? So I take it to the shop. It's supposed to be under warranty. They tell me they told me bring it in. They go check it out. See what's going on with it. So I take the car in, and they had my car for 21 days, y'all. 21 days. I want y'all to see this piece of paper right here. This piece of paper says that it went in on 9/9. On 9/10, they had successfully replaced the axle. And during the process, they found that, it was some other damage, because it did damage some other stuff when the axle went out. Like, it chewed up some wires and stuff. So they say some wires was torn from the connectors and it was damaged and shit like that. But here's the point that I'm trying to make, yo. I picked my car up on 10/1/25. They had my car for 21 days. A CV axle job is a 3.5 hour job. They told me that the first time they had my car, but they still kept it for 7 days because they claimed that 2 aftermarket CV axles failed, right? So they had to convince Silver Rock to use the Mercedes-Benz OEM part, right? Which was why the total on this other piece of paper is $2,500 something, right? So, what was I? Okay, yeah. So, Silver Rock approved the CV axle, right? 1 year later, it failed, right? And they said that upon fixing it, it was discovered that the right side engine mount, which is the engine mount over the right side of the passenger CV axle that failed a year ago, had failed. As a result, that axle cannot be installed without reoccurring damage. New axle, wire harness, and end link are in the back floorboard because the trunk was filled all the way up. Because I live in my car, they made sure to emphasize that, but that's none of their business. Right engine side mount must be replaced as it is the primary cause of the axle dislodging initially, right? So now it's not covered under warranty. Okay. Y'all see that, right? They said that they knew that 1 day after they received the car. 1 day. I got it told to them on the 9th. On the 10th, they discovered all of this and knew it wouldn't be covered under warranty. I say that to say this. I visited the shop 2 times during the 21 days that they had my car. The first time was to pick up, my real keys and take them to spare key, right? But then I realized I had in the car, so I went 15th to pick up my laptop, right? Now on the 15th, when I go in there, they got my car on the lift, the rim is off, and the rim is laying up against the lift, which is a big deal now, but it wasn't a big deal then. So he told me that, look, we put the first axle in. He said, don't worry, it's covered under warranty. We put the first axle in and it failed. So we got to get another axle from Mercedes-Benz. So you got to give us a little bit more time. Cool. Now that was on the 15th, right? Let me show y'all this. The first time they communicated with me was on the 23rd. Yeah. Right? This is a message from H&M Auto. Let me make sure y'all know that it's really H&M Auto. Oh, damn, that's a photo. I can't even do it. Okay, but anyway, that's them. It says, look like we're going to need another day. We couldn't save the axle they warrantied out, and we have to order another one under warranty. I'll have it tomorrow afternoon, hopefully all done by the end of the day on the 24th. Have a great day, right? Now, look at the date on that, y'all. That is the 23rd. Okay. Look at the date on this, y'all. This is the 10th. After I got it towed in on the 9th. Let me make this clear, yo. This is real common sense, right? This means that the day before they told me that the warranty was voided, which they told me the next day on the 24th. After he said you could come and get your car on the 24th. On the 24th, they asked me, hey, your freaking motor mount is shot, man. So we can't fix your car unless you let us fix the motor mount. I declined. I was heated. Yo, they had my car for 21 days, told me I can come get it on the 24th, and then on the 24th tell me I got another major problem, right? And they can't fix it, period. But this contradicts what you told me, what you've been telling me the whole time. You told me that you put a CV axle in the car, test drove it, and it failed. Now, I say that to say this. If my motor mount was bad, when you test drove the car the first time, how was you able to get that CV axle in there? The first one that you claimed failed. As you can see, it's right here. But he also told me this on the phone because I talked to him on like the 20th or something for 40 minutes, man. Dude was a dog. He told me, look, your car eating CV axles and we need to figure out why. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to blame everything in the world on that CV axle failing besides the fact that it won a Mercedes-Benz CV axle, yo. That's what I'm getting at. Okay. So, boom. When he say that, I kind of neutralize the situation. I'm like, yo, bro, hold on, man. I'm trying to come to your auto shop for all my auto needs. You know what I'm saying? So he like, wait, all right, well, but he had told me, look, we gonna fix your shit and we don't want you to come back. So I'm like, yo, hold on, bro. I'm trying to, I need a home shop. You know what I'm saying? Because, shit, I need somebody to take care of my baby. So anyway, imagine talking to this dude for 40 minutes now. He told me all about his life. Vinny, that's his name. Hold on. His name right there, Vinny. My Julius. So, tell me his life story and all that. At the end of the day, he tell me he love me and, they're going to get the car right. As y'all saw from this, we going to get your car right. Right? So, when they tell me that the motor mount is broke, I decline to have them fix it. And that's when shit went left, right? So they say, okay, well, this is what we're going to do. You can come get your car tomorrow then, which is now the 26th. He said, we're going to take the CV axle out and put it on the floor. Like he said in this paper right here. It's going to be on the floorboard. He said, we're going to take it out because if you don't let us replace the motor mounts, if you try to drive it, you're going to destroy the CV axle. And we can't have that. I was like, all right, cool. Put it, long as it's the Mercedes-Benz CV axle, good. I'll come get my car. So, boom. That still didn't happen, y'all. This up my car on the 1st. Where the scam come in at. How come the car was covered under warranty all the way up until the 24th, but this paper says that the warranty was voided on the 10th. Dude never put a Mercedes-Benz axle in my car. And let me see if I can find it in my gallery real quick on my computer. Hold on. Show y'all something. Well, anyway, I ain't gonna go through. But look, there's other text messages with dude telling me that my car won't under warranty, period. That I drove excessive miles. He said that my warranty was only for 12,000 miles or 12 months, whichever comes first, right? But he didn't know I had my original receipt. Shit, I didn't know I had my original receipt. And my original receipt was in the car the whole time they had it for them 21 days, right? So I was trying to get some lawyers on it, right? So they was asking me if I had my original receipt. I went fishing for it and I found it. And that's the jank that I showed y'all at first. This one right here. This is the original receipt because all of this stuff happened last year, right? Now, dude saying this. There's no way that the CV axle would have failed within a year. I agree. If it was a Mercedes-Benz CV axle, it definitely would not have failed within a year. Because the one on the driver's side is doing fine. You know what I'm saying? So is the motor mount on that side. They really claiming that the motor mount on that side failed because that's where they aftermarket CV axle failed. But here's the kicker. Dude gave me an axle. It's not a Mercedes-Benz axle. He gave me a receipt for a Mercedes-Benz axle and gave me an aftermarket physical axle, but a Mercedes-Benz receipt. You know what I'm saying? So every time I try to go up there and talk to somebody, they won't let me speak to nobody but him. When I went up there to speak to him today, they physically threw me out and banned me. All I was trying to do was get it escalated, bro. I can't stress enough, man. If this has happened to anybody, man, I feel for you, man. Look, I live in my car. It be freezing out here. This jank is expensive, man. I need help. They saying I can't afford the car. That's what they told me today. That's what Vinny been telling me the whole time we've been texting. I need to get a car that I can afford. Who can afford to pay for somebody else's scam? Literally. You know what I'm saying? Literally, you had my warranty company pay for a Mercedes-Benz axle, then you gave me an aftermarket axle, and when it failed within a year, well within the warranty range, may I add, still, you see here, 36 months or 36,000 miles. He said 4,000 miles, right? But he said that I was 22,000 miles over my limit because he didn't know I had my original receipt. And he tried to tell me that my warranty was 12 months, 12,000 miles. Beware this company right here, man. It's if you look like me and you cannot, or if you cannot afford to have to pay, if you can't afford to pay for OEM parts and have aftermarket parts put on your car just to have them fail, and then you take them back to the shop and they void the warranty for some unforeseen reason, man. Because if there is something wrong with my motor mounts, I don't know. I can't even afford to fucking get my car towed to another place or none of that, man. They had my car for 21 days. It has been broken down now for 3 whole months. You know what I'm saying? Within them 21 days, I had to do a lot of maneuvering. You know, I live in my car, so I actually spent a lot of money during those 21 days with the expectation that I would get my car back and get back to, you know, get things back on the ball. But that didn't happen. And now they stonewalling me, man. Like, literally won't let me talk to a supervisor or, you know, the owner. They physically threw me out the building. Said that I would be trespassing if I returned. And y'all saw the math. The math is very simple. You told me on the 23rd that I can come get my car on the 24th. It was covered under warranty. But then when I go on the 1st, you backdate this statement and say that it's not covered under warranty. This is fraud, yo. This is fraud. And I don't want this to happen to anybody else.